Disney Dreams and Universal Thrills here on Travel with the Taylors. My name is Christine Taylor, and as always, we are going to talk about theme parks, amusement parks, theme parks, and the best places to take your little ones, your toddlers, your sensory sensitive little ones. And I help people plan those vacations, and I help give you tips and tricks on how to go through with these vacations and the best tips and tricks for Disney and Universal and many other parks as a mom who's been there before, during, and after having a kid. So today we are going to talk about the Universal hotels. I have stayed at Hard Rock, Cabana Bay, Aventura, Sapphire Falls, and Endless Summer Surfside. So, that being said, I've stayed at many of Universal's hotels on property. My favorite ones for little kids are going to be Surfside, Endless Summer Surfside, Aventura, at Sapphire Falls, and even Hard Rock, which is one of their premier hotels. With this hotel, when you stay at the hotel, you get unlimited express pass for each member of your party. This hotel, being a premier deluxe premier hotel, as they call it, this one is definitely one of my go-tos for kids. It is more designed for the adults because it is a Hard Rock hotel. Just like the Hard Rock cafes, they can get loud. They have pool parties on the pool. They have a zero entry pool. You can hear the music underwater, which is super cool. The main reason, other than the fact that it's quieter, the main reason that I like this hotel is because it's super close to the park. With a long park day and your kids walking around, we just started not having a stroller, so being super close to the parks is really key for us. And I'll go more over that with like Disney and stuff like that in a later video. But definitely Hard Rock is pretty much right next to the park. Do maybe like a little 5-minute walking trail, or you can take the boats. I highly recommend a hotel with the boat. Aventura does not have the boat, they have buses, but you can walk over to Sapphire Falls and take the boat. We have before. So that's another really good thing because the boats will take you right into City Walk, which is, if you've been to Disney, it's their version of Downtown Disney, but it's also connected to both parks, except for Epic Universe because Epic Universe is down the street. Um, which we will get into a video on Epic as well, and the parks. So that being said, definitely look for a hotel with the boat. Sapphire Falls has the boat. When I took my son in October, we stayed for a night at Endless Summer Surfside, and we absolutely loved it. It was very family friendly. So Hard Rock is just one of those closer ones that, like, if you know that you're gonna have somebody with a long park day, and the little legs get tired. Can't tell you how many times I hear a day, Mom, my legs are tired. I know how it goes. For us, at the end of the day, our legs are tired, let alone when the little legs that feel like they're walking twice as many steps. Um, so that is one of the main reasons. It's like the quiet, the minus the pool parties. They can get rather loud, and the lobby can kind of sometimes get loud, but it is a very quiet hotel. It's a hotel where a lot of adults stay, just because of the theming of the hotel and everything else. But we have stayed there. We do enjoy the hotel. So it is one of our go-tos. Cabana Bay, I will say, Cabana Bay is another one that is just buses. The My other thing with Cabana Bay is that it looks like it's connected, and in ways it is connected, but you have to walk outside under a covered patio to walk to the next building. They're not connected across. So that can be a pain, especially with strollers. We've like the lobby's all the way over here, and we've stayed at the far building that's like three buildings over, which is one of the towers. We've stayed there. And it's great for like when you're parking and you're going back and forth to your car, but when it comes to going to the buses or going to get food, it can be kind of a pain in the butt with little kids. Just putting that out there. So our main go-to when we stay at Universal is the Aventura. I cannot say enough good things about the Aventura. It is our go-to hotel. Other than the Hard Rock, it is our home hotel. That is all one building. So it's got a bar 17 at the top, on the 17th floor. So, which is cool. I believe it opens at 2 or 4 daily now. They just changed hours. So, and before it was like 4 or 5 p.m. You could take the elevator straight up to bar 17. Uh, it is all one building, which is super helpful when you have little kids. You don't want to go from building to building to building to building. Um, like I said, love Cabana Bay. It is super family friendly. They have a bowling alley on the second floor in their lobby. It's just a very friendly, kid-friendly hotel and a very friendly hotel. I do love Cabana Bay, but like I said, if you're trying to get a stroller through, especially if you're going to Florida during hurricane season or during rainy season, which is most of the year, but basically from May to, October, November is rainy season. It can kind of be a pain to go back and forth from the bus depot to your hotel room if you're all the way in that tower. Um, but I do love Cabana Bay for many, many other reasons. Um, so the Adventure is our go-to. It's all one building. They do have the buses down at the bottom, or you can walk over to Sapphire Falls, which is another one that we have stayed at, which is very nice. It's a beach theme hotel. It's very cool. Adventure is a little more futuristic. They have robots that will come bring candy up to your room or toiletries, just small things. They also will be in the lobby. They can tell you a joke. It's pretty cool. My son loves the robots. He likes looking at the robots and stuff. So you'll see them kind of cruising around the lobby or like going up the elevator and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool. And then the food at the Aventura is pretty kid friendly. They have a wok station, which I love because I'm a big like sushi wok, like stir fry type person. They have a grill with burgers and chicken and salads, that kind of stuff. They have a pizza area. My son loves the pizza area. Uh, so they do have a lot of things. Breakfast is really good. Like I said, it's our go-to hotel just for the fact that it is one building and it makes it easier when you're coming back to not just kind of go, even the Hard Rock's one building, it just makes it easier when you're coming back after a long park day to just be in your hotel and stay in the one area, especially with little kids. It can get loud at some points, but it is one of the quieter hotels. Sapphire Falls, same way. Cabana Bay can get loud. Just because it is more kid friendly, it can get very loud. So those are the closest ones. When we stayed at Endless Summer Surfside, it is further away. It's kind of in between Universal Islands and City Walk and Epic. So it is a little further away, but it is definitely another family-friendly hotel. I have seen high chairs, like in their food court. I've seen high chairs, I've seen booster seats. There's booths, everything else. It's really set up for kids. It's a very cool hotel. Um, and it looks like it's multiple buildings, but it is actually one whole building, which I really enjoyed. You do have to walk out to go to the parking garage, which at the Aventura you don't have to do. You just go to an elevator on the opposite side of the building, and you can um, get to the parking garage that way. So, like, be cautious when it's raining. If you stay at Surfside, you're gonna have to walk outside to get to your car. Uh, but that's just that and the buses with the stroller. It's pretty good. I'm not a big fan of buses when it comes to the stroller because you always have to fold the stroller up to make room for other people, which is fine. I don't care about filling up my stroller, but if you have a kid who is passed out, especially if you're doing it by yourself, because there are some times that I went to the park by myself with my son. If you're doing it by yourself and you have a kid that's passed out in the stroller, that could be a little bit more of an issue. Because then you got to wake them up, you got to fold the stroller. It's a whole thing. Um, I much would rather take a boat than a bus when it comes to the park, but I will do a bus if I need to. I just have to wake up my kid a little bit more and then kind of hold them on the bus and hold the stroller and everything else because those buses can get crowded. I mean, the boats can get crowded too, but the buses definitely will get crowded, especially at the end of the night, especially at park close. They get crowded. They kind of try and as safely shove as many people as they can on there for the buses. So we try to stay at hotels with the boat just because it's easier. Um, I've yet to stay at Helios. Hopefully, our next trip we will be staying at the Helios. It is a goal of mine to stay at the Helios, which opens into it is the only park that opens up into Epic, and it is the only hotel that opens up into the park. Hard Rock is the second closest when it comes to staying at the park. So I definitely want to stay at Helios, and see the Helios. So, but yeah, I would highly recommend Aventura. I would highly recommend, even Sapphire Falls. I really enjoy Sapphire Falls, especially with my little and my sensory little. Um, just their quieter hotels. Even, in all fairness, and we went in October, even Surfside was so quiet. I've never really had a loud hotel, if that makes sense, at Universal. We've never had one. I mean, we've had ones where we've woken up a couple times, like during Grad Bash, where, the high schoolers will be staying at the hotel if they live further away. Um, they will be staying at the hotel, and that gets a little loud. Some nights during Halloween Horror Nights, things can get a little loud because, Universal does sell alcohol, especially on Halloween Horror Nights, because it is a 13 and older event. In all fairness, probably should be a little more than 13. But the park does close at like 1 or 2 in the morning. So you can get a couple of people who are a little too drunk. And it gets loud. But other than that, we have not had an issue with the loudness of a Universal hotel. All of the ones we've stayed at so far would be great, and I would recommend them highly. Like I said, there's just some, it's like a, pick and choose. Even at, Disney is a pick and choose. So it's pretty much just kind of like which one you would rather have, which one you can afford in your budget, which one would be better for your family. And I can always work that out with you when I help you plan your trip. My services are completely free. I just really love talking about these parks and I really love going to these parks. So my services are free. Um, for anybody who wants to. And I set you up with personalized, custom, full-on itineraries. We don't use the itineraries when we go. We have a list on our phones of like certain things that we absolutely have to do, especially if it's a seasonal thing. We have certain things that we have to do that we that are really high on our list of things to do, not things that we have to do, but like things that we really, really want to do. So it's kind of like a have to do thing, but I can help you guys plan that as well. And like I said, I just love these parks and I really enjoy helping people and I really enjoy helping people plan these parks, which is why I started this. But yeah, those are my opinions on the Universal hotels. They are really great hotels, really amazing. Uh, so yeah, I can't say enough good things about any of the parks that we normally go to or any of the parks we go to in general. But definitely follow for more tips and tricks. Let me know if you would like for me to help you plan a trip because we've planned many, many, many trips in the 20 some years that we've been going to the parks. So I definitely know a lot about these parks and the ever-changing lives that these parks have. This year especially, and the next couple years, there's going to be a lot of changes at the parks. So I will be here talking to you about all of it, talking to you guys about the events that are going on. The next events that will be coming up are Halloween. I know it's crazy to talk about. Other than summer, there's some things in summer that happen. I know, and I'll do this in a later video, Disney is doing a whole bunch of stuff for the summer. Universal generally has like summer tribute store, which is really cool. I was there for the Jurassic Park 30th anniversary summer tribute store, which was really cool. Last year they had like a Jaws tribute store and like a whole bunch of their original Universal movies, and and they were just doing merch from there. And the tribute stores honestly are super cool. They do a really fantastic job at the tribute stores in Universal, and they pop up seasonally. So that's really cool. But the next big events that they're going to be talking about, we're going to be talking about, is the Halloween. Again, Universal has Horror Nights. I'll go more into detail on that in a later video as well, just because we are starting to get um, updates and leaks and all of this kind of stuff for Universal. But I just wanted to come in and talk about the hotels today. So, like I said, if you want me to help you plan the trip, again, my services are completely free. I can talk for hours, really. I can talk for hours about these parks, but I can definitely help you out with with the hotels, with an itinerary, and I just hope you all have a very magical day and follow for more. Okay, bye.